Dog, Microsoft just opened the floodgates for every vibe coder known to man. I might as well be a vibe coder too. Take my money.
Microsoft just gave Vibe engineers a huge win out of nowhere. Minutes ago, they open sourced the tool that originally started the AI coding bubble, a GitHub Copilot. As of today, it's officially free and open source software under the MIT license,
Oh,
meaning you can fork it, modify it, and even build your own billion-dollar competitor without going to prison. And on top of that, they also
yo, if you've been following this channel, you know I've been doing quirky projects for a minute to the point where I even thought about making a Kali Linux server, Kali Linux VM, and just playing around with, ideas that will never be able to hit the market. But this is one of them that could get taken out of the VM now, baby.
open source the Windows Subsystem for Linux, or WSL. That's a big deal because for the last year or two, one of the hottest grifts in Silicon Valley has been the promise of an AI powered junior engineer, or shovels that can turn any rando on the street into a skilled programmer. Startups have raised millions of dollars by simply forking VS Code and duct taping some LLMs to it. Like Cursor is now valued at $9 billion, while Windsurf was recently acquired by OpenAI for $3 billion. There are some good up and coming open source alternatives like the Void editor, but VS Code is on another level, and has been the undisputed king of code editors for nearly a decade. In today's video,
Damn
we'll
right.
find out why Microsoft would just give you the code to its extremely valuable Copilot. It is May 20th, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. The
Damn
timing
right.
for this announcement is interesting to say the least, because OpenAI and Microsoft used to be rock solid partners. They used to have an exclusive deal to train their models on Azure, but Microsoft recently ended that deal. Then, just a few days ago, OpenAI announced Codex, which is a cloud-based coding agent that can generate an ungodly amount of bugs in parallel. But it's a product very similar to GitHub Agent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sam, you might have lost the AI race officially. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say being the first to accomplish something is hard for the reason that you have to upkeep something that you don't know where it's going. Like the direction of AI, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have told you it would have been this. Agentic co-pilots. I thought we would have been here by last year and stuff like that. So the fact that vibe coding and everything is now picking up, I'm not even gonna say anything about what I think tech should be. I'm just gonna observe now, because maybe the people who's supposed to be in charge aren't. That's the truth.
Mode, which was just announced a few months ago. Then yesterday at Microsoft Build, they announced how it's being integrated directly into GitHub, while also adding support for the Model Context Protocol to all their products, incling
Catch a
Windows
thumbnail.
11, paving the way
You're gonna see me randomly do things. I'm trying to catch a good thumbnail. That's what I'm gonna do from now on. Just
way to give artificial intelligence full control over your operating system. That's a huge opportunity for developers and hackers alike, and it's essential for any
let's
company
go,
that
right?
wants to win the AI race to win the hearts and minds of developers. Because according to Anthropic's recent study, the vast majority of people who use and pay for LLMs unironically are programmers. OpenAI has been lagging behind with programmers recently, but to change that, they recently locked in a massive deal by acquiring Windsurf for $3 billion, which again is a VS Code fork modified to be an AI slop-o-matic. The timing is really funny because had they just waited a few days, they could have saved those $3 billion and just used the now open source Copilot. But I don't think Microsoft open source Copilot just to pwn Sam Altman. Virtually every open source play made by Microsoft has worked out really well. VS Code and TypeScript dominate the web dev ecosystem. The Windows subsystem for Linux made
I'm gonna be honest with you. The only reason why VS Code and TypeScript dominate because JavaScript is such a foundational piece of Web 2.0. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, here's the honest truth. If Web 2.0 was built on different things, like let's just say C plus, PHP, still, you know what I mean? I don't think that VS Code, I think it would be Vim. You know what I mean? I think it would be codes that don't come with too much already built in. Like I feel like you could in Vim, the only reason I don't use it, I feel like you don't know what tools you need. So most times you may be dropping into a program like you're dropping into a game of Call of Duty Warzone. No weapons, a pistol, and you gotta define some stuff, you know?
Windows a viable platform for all developers, and they even open sourced their old MS-DOS code last year. But this is a bit unusual because Copilot is a paid product costing as much as $390 per year. And you might be wondering, does that mean it'll be totally free now? And the answer is no. No, it does not. When you pay for Copilot, you're mostly paying for the cloud computing cost to generate your actual code, not the underlying software of Copilot itself. In theory, by open sourcing it, Copilot should improve and ship features faster, without the need to pay Microsoft employees. You may have heard that Microsoft just laid off 6,000 people, including many veteran engineers, so they could really use the extra help. But it's a win-win for everybody, because you could use their code to monetize your own thing, or extend it in ways that help other developers, and that's just not possible on closed-source platforms like Cursor and Windsurf. Not to mention,
And I'm gonna say this now, this is gonna be a great time to be a developer. For those who's giving up, slap out of it, snap out of it, slap out of it. There's actually going to be a portion. Actually, let me go get my notes. Now, there's actually going to be a portion of this that's going to be required for on-site bounties and stuff that may happen in vibe coding, but ultimately, there's going to be a space for open source projects to get paid now. Do it for free, but the payment comes because some of these companies are starting to implement more open source things to invite people to casually help out. Think of it as programming going monetizing programming finally. We're finally building the blocks. So I just want you guys to be more excited about the news that's coming out because you shouldn't be worried about fixing programs. You should be worried about building and building on top of other programs. So if you're already in the open source space, this is a great time for you to continue doing what you're doing. If not, like me, I'll be posting more and more apps and stuff just to showcase how rich it is and make sure you know how to make money in this space.
you get better transparency and quicker fixes for security vulnerabilities. I'd say this is a big win for Microsoft, and there'll be big rewards for those who can actually code while leveraging AI to become 10x more productive. But you have 80,000 hours in your career, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for 40 years. That's a lot of time to make a positive impact on the world. And 80,000 hours, the sponsor of today's video, can help you do that. If you're young, you've probably heard advice like follow your passion, do what you love, and take the initiative. But these cliches are not based on evidence or data. Unlike the work of 80,000 Hours, which is a nonprofit
It's
that for the
crazy.
last 10 years has been researching the question of how do you find a fulfilling career that does good too. Their website, which is entirely
I'm
free,
going
has
through another
tons of
one.
collected research on high impact careers, along with job boards, podcasts, and a lot more. It's an incredible resource for anyone looking to start a high impact career or make a switch mid career. Join the newsletter today.
Join the newsletter. For those who are coming to my channel, 9 times out of 10, you are a real programmer, you are a real IT dude, you are in tech for real. You don't need a career change. What you do need to do is learn about why your specific path may be transitioning and you may not know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe for more content. Again, I had to go get my charger, and I'm sorry for the late post.